Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of Chainsaw Man. Last time, Denji began having an all-out brawl with Katana Man. We all said goodbye to Himeno, and Makima went Kung Pao entered a fist on her assassins and left a whole lot of donut holes all over the place here. So now we gotta find out what's about to happen now, because Denji's sliced in half horrifically and is about to face peril, I think. So without further ado, let's get going. Let's get reading. Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto, Chapter 27, from Kyoto. Kyoto was a bustling city with cars driving all around, people walking the streets. Everything was nice and quiet. Makima was accompanied by Sawatori and Kurose as they as they escorted Makima to their next destination. Should we go straight to Tokyo to assist? Was it Kurose? Kurose said. Oh, I thought we'd make it in time even if we left right now, Makima said as she nursed her shoulder from the pain. The enemy's target is probably Denji. We'll deal with it right here. Oh, okay. Kurose. It wasn't Sawatori. Sorry. Kurose, go borrow about 30 convicts serving life sentences on us from the Ministry of Justice, Makima said. He nodded. Tendo went at a nearby shrine, one at the highest altitude possible. Tendo nodded in agreement. Also, someone to get me to change of clothes. Makima shook the blood off of her suit as she slowly, as she continued walking away. Meanwhile, back at Tokyo, two henchmen were carrying Chainsaw Man, and struggled mightily as they approached the city fan. He's heavy, one of them said. Hurry! Another minion said as the crowd walked very quietly, unaware of what was going on. I'm afraid I won't be able to fight for a while now, you know? So dang heavy. You help too. Alright already. Grab that side! The minion screamed out. Blah. Where am I supposed to hold? He's all gooey and entraily down here. Huh? And the goon lifted his head up. He looked around. Come on, grab it! His comrade said. And he continued looking around. Hey! Jesus girl looked on, wondering what was going on. She approached him. What the hell? Don't start freaking out. Grab it. Jesus girl observed quietly. Listen, something feels wrong, the goon said. Huh? What do you mean? Jesus girl said. And his whole entire body flattened into the ground. His clothes stretched out, and liquefied blood and guts sprayed across over everybody. They all shielded themselves as they watched on in horror. Ugh. Holy! Jesus girl was horrified at what she saw. She immediately went on, put on the She immediately went on to the walkie-talkie.
Teamy! Have Team C reconfirm Makima's death.
This is Teamy. This is Teamy. We've been unable to make contact with Zayful. His whole entire head pressed down like an accordion, shaping out all the creases, and suddenly his clothes laid flat on the ground, and his body liquefied into blood and guts. Sweat poured down everyone's faces. She began to realize what had happened.
That woman!
She screamed out. Back at Kyoto, in a shrine, Makima stood in a JoJo pose as a whole bunch of convicts dressed in yukata with blindfolds on, along with Kurose and Tendo. Not sure what was going on. They all remained silent as Makima stood quietly, nice and clean. I still haven't figured out. What? You know what? Yeah, I guess that's a Cletus voice. Okay. Why do we need blindfolds too? About the map. Yeah, female Cletus. Let's try female Cletus.
Makima reports directly to the Chief Cabinet Secretary. Ordinary devil hunters aren't authorized to know which devil she has contracts with.
Tendo said, as Makima stood before one of the convicts and knelt down before him.
Ah, sir. Susu Mishima.
Sushu Mizuma, the convict said. She stood up, and she firmly planted her palms together. She was very quiet and very ready. Hey, put him in the fan. Hey, do you hear me? Mishima! Suddenly, his eyes widened. He couldn't move. He couldn't bulge. Whatever last thoughts he had made no difference. As Makima said,
Have you ever tried to smoosh a sandwich like this?
And suddenly, his whole entire face stretched out. As Makima slowly turned her palms together, and Mishima immediately exploded into liquid, splashing blood all over everyone. The Katana Man and Jesus Girl stared out in horror. And as for the convict in Kyoto, he collapsed. Makima then leaned closer to the next convict.
Say Takashi Inore.
Takashi Inore? Makima smiled. And another body was liquefied.
Then you do this to the hamburgers as well?
And another body liquefied. And another and another convict fell over.
Then you do this with powder cakes?
And suddenly another body squished out. Hey! Hey! One of the minions said, while holding a gun to an old lady's head. Somebody help me!
And then you do this to the raspberries.
And suddenly his body shattered, completely shattered into liquefied goo, covering the poor victim in his messy blood. And as the gun laid there in the pool of blood, Makima, Jesus Girl, couldn't move and remove the sweat from her brow.
It stopped,
she said, as Katana Man stood in shock. And there laid the convicts that Makima called over. She looked over at Tendo Kurose and said,
You can move those now. I finished what I can do from here. I'm returning to Tokyo.
To be continued. Chainsaw Man, Chapter 27, by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Chainsaw Man, by Tatsuki, Chapter 28. Hold on. Let's try that again. Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto, Chapter 28, Secrets and Lies. Katana Man and Jesus Girl stood before what was once their minions, their suits, their clothes laying flat across the ground in a pool of liquefied body. There was no guts, no brain, no nothing. It was just all a sea of liquid red. The Katana Man was sweating profusely, unable to move. Jesus Girl freaked out and screamed,
"This is ridiculous power. It's Makima. It's probably Makima's. Let's escape while we still can."
"Dad, didn't they kill her?" he said as Katana Man said as he lifted up Chainsaw Man's half body, and he looked up. He looked back. His eye grew wide, and there was Kobeni, approaching them very slowly with a knife in hand. Moments ago, a gunshot fired. Arai got struck in the neck by the old woman behind him. When she aimed her gun at Kobeni, Arai immediately jumped in and took a bullet to the head. His blood splayed onto Kobeni's face. She watched him as he collapsed down to the ground. The present moment. Everyone was in silence as they looked at her. Jesus Girl barely could hold on to her CB radio. Katana Man could barely hold on to Chainsaw Man. "You people are the shooters, right?" Kobeni said with her finger pointed upward, a knife, holding on to the butcher knife very, very calmly. Jesus Girl and Katana Man were silent until Jesus Girl raised her hand up with her nail vanishing out.
"Snake tail."
And a giant snake tail emerged and shot out at Kobeni. She just stood there, completely shocked, traumatized, and she immediately, with one reflex, planted her hand on the tail, leapt up, and landed on top of the tail and started running fast with the knife in hand. "Was she a monkey?" the Katana Man said as he aimed his gun, and before he knew it, his hand disappeared. It flew right past him with the gun that he held, Kobeni flipping past him, and before the gun could ever hit the ground, she immediately catched it with her hand in a somewhat impossible pose. Like, what's with her joint? Oh my gosh, her shoulder joint. Her shoulder joint is aimed backwards, with the gun aimed, and she fired 2 shots to the back of Katana Man. To Katana Man. Jesus Girl pulled out her gun and was ready to aim it, but Kobeni was already ahead of her and held it up. However, there were no bullets. It was all out. Jesus Girl immediately ready to fire, but Kobeni grabbed Chainsaw Man and ducked under him. Every shot piercing Chainsaw Man's body, but not a single one struck her. Katana Man screamed out in pain from the bullet wounds. Jesus Girl was shocked. She immediately grabbed him and carried him over.
"Die inside the van,"
she said, and threw him into the seat as his eyes were slowly struggling to stay open. Kobeni tilted to the side. She looked at Chainsaw Man, passed out and unconscious. She watched the van drive off. unsuccessful in getting rid of the Chainsaw Man, she looked down at him and she said, "Sorry, I tried to kill you before." She took a moment. She paused for a moment, then laughed. She lowered her head again, and then went into hysterics. "Sorry, I tried to kill you. Oh, that's hilarious. I can't. It's like I'm high. Oh. She remembered standing over Rai as he lay dead from the bullet wounds that that the old woman delivered him. And she helped me. For me. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. This job is driving me nuts. Send me to an asylum. Send me to Joker. Anybody but this. Meanwhile, oh dang. Meanwhile, at Tokyo's rail station. Oh, and and Kobani said, "When I see Miss Himeno, I'm telling her I quit." Back at Tokyo Station, Makima somehow returned very quickly, with Kurose and Tendo behind them. She looked up and she saw Glasses Man covered in blood as everyone, as passers-by, looked on in shock and horror. Madoka. Okay. Did I get Madoka? Wow, Madoka. Oh, now they decided to name him Madoka. Give him the name Madoka. We'll give him. Since I never got him his voice, I'll give him the British voice. Pass it on from Arai to him.
Madoka, glad you're alive. How much of the special division survived?
Makima said. Special divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4 came under gunfire simultaneously, Madoka said. Aside from the non-humans, almost everyone died.
Is Judy specifically targeting a special division? Odds are the gun devil is involved.
I have a message from the higher-ups. Due to the personnel shortage, Special Divisions 1, 2, and 3 will merge with Special Division 4. From this point forward, they're placing Public Safety Devil Extermination Special Division 4 under your command.
That's cool. I like that idea.
Also, this is for you. Madoka handed an envelope.
What is it?
My resignation.
You're quitting?
The Special Division's gone sinister. It's quit or be killed, Madoka said.
I see.
She looked at the resignation and read it carefully. Madoka was very silent, and he spoke. Also, one last question for me. How much of this had you anticipated? And Makima began walking away with one simple answer.
I'm really not at liberty to discuss public safety's internal affairs with civilians. Thank you for your service, Madoka. I'll pass this on.
She held the resignation up, and then she proceeded to walk away with Kurose and Tendo behind her. And Madoka, he walked away as well, with the crowd looking at the blood, at his blood-covered shirt. Tendo and Kurose looked at each other, and they spoke. Miss Makima, you know it's not like we're joining your special division, right?
We're only here for training, you know. 1 week from now, we'll be on our way back to Kyoto.
Makima stopped. Without looking back at them, she said,
That's a shame. That's how make it was the restaurants in Tokyo.
To be continued. Chainsaw Man, Chapter 28, by Tatsuki Fujimoto. Alright. Time for some reviewing, yeah? Want to do the review? Let's do the review. The most coolest moment, what I consider to be one of the most coolest moments when I read the Japanese and now seeing it in English, is how Makima killed all those guys. Oh my gosh! The first time, the second time is just as cool as anything. She just goes, and my man went. Oh man. Yeah. Again, these are very short chapters, but it moved along very nicely. We got Kobeni gets a little bit more, gets some screen time and really does some things. We finally learned the twin. I guess they're twins, Kurose and Tendo. I don't know if they're brother or sister or the coincidence. I don't know, but very cool design that they each have a scar that that's like matches. It kind of like links up when they stand side by side. Very weird. But basically, this was a very straightforward set of chapters here. They're trying to get the Chainsaw Man, the mob, his half body, and then all of a sudden Makima pulls off the ultimate squish job, and a very crushing blow here. I mean, seriously, just look at this. It feels like Tatsuki Fujimoto is trying to show off all these different types of moments here. Like he's living, he's trying to capture the moments like this. Like, this is gruesome. This is very gruesome. Although could have done a little bit more blood splatter on the characters here. Could have put a little bit more blood. I mean, look at how he's getting splattered, and it looks like he got flattened, but he's not really flattened. He's just liquefied. Pretty hilarious here. But nevertheless, this really moved nice and quickly. But I gotta say, this one, this is very gruesome, showing how the flattening happens. This whole accordion thing. Oh my gosh! I just dang. You're really seeing how it truly works, how it's actually working, and it just gets more and more worse as everything goes along. But once they figure out that it's Makima, it's like, oh, we're really screwed here. But we really get to see how Makima operates. Apparently, she's got multiple contracts with devils, according to Tendo. And this is one of her methods, which is pretty messed up when you think about it. Sure, they're criminals, but let's just take into perspective. She's willing to grab any type of life and sack them just to get what she wants. Whatever this ritual is pretty crazy, but it's intense. It's insane. I mean, just look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is what a detail to this. The eye bulging out, the other eye sliding backwards and everything as the twist happens. Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, just this whole chapter dedicated to Makima in action shows what level of power she has, and it was shocking the first time, and it's still shocking the second time. It's just, even the anime was shocking. You know what I mean? Because we just have no idea what Makima is capable of doing, and we finally get to see it. Now we get to see why power freaks out around her, because she's capable of doing this without hesitation. She it was bad enough that she blew giant holes and kung paoed a bunch of mafia, but to do this, sacrificing people just to liquefy more mafia. Oh my gosh! But yeah, these chapters were pretty fast, and I'm glad that this one did a quick little shift here, where we get to see Kobeni in action. We found out Arai's fate. He actually saves her life, as you can see here, and we could really see how much of a toll this has taken her. Just look at the very nicely drawn of her face. You have no idea what she's planning to do. And the second they send the snake out, just look at her. She's withdrawn. She's exhausted. Pretty messed up, man. But she gets to have that one moment, which is this. You know what I'm saying? She jumps and starts running along the snake. The anime did it justice. Let me tell you something. But oh man, she really shows what she's capable of doing. And honestly, I wish we had more of her, quite honestly. I wish we had more of her. I would like to I really would like to see more of her, because when it counts, she really does, go all out and everything. Like, look at this is such a genius move here. She's able to use Chainsaw Man as a shield. You know what I'm saying? So she's very resourceful in the situation overall. But yeah, she has her freakouts once and for all. And the sad thing is that she's like, I want to see Miss Himeno, and that's not gonna happen. And we finally find out this guy's name. I don't know if they gave his name before, but again, when it comes to the naming, it just drives me nuts that we don't find out their names until so far into the story, and but we get introduced to this guy here, and he leaves. So like I said, as it's Chainsaw Man is a flashy. It's all about the Flash. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the Flash. It's all about the Flash, and I wouldn't say no all style no substance, because the style, it's very stylized and everything, but I just feel like the story is taking a back seat for just showing awesome moments like Makima flattening out characters and so on. But at least the plot is not convoluted or anything. It's pacing along as best as it could. So yeah. But is it fun? Heck yeah. It is totally fun. It is totally fun. But I'm not going to ignore the fact that the writing is, right now at this point, very weak. It's not very strong, but it is moving along. And that's the important thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not stalling out or anything. And I'm still not left, questioning plot holes and everything. But at least this part of the story. So yeah, that's it. That's it for this set of chapters. Thank you all for joining me. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow. You know you want to. Head on over to Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. Grab yourself a copy of The Impossible Man, a strange fantasy novel. If you're interested in more merch, you'll find them down in the link below. If you like this style of manga reading, these type of videos, and you wanna participate in this channel's growth, please head on over to the Patreon, and mind you, that. You know what I mean? And finally, if you're interested in catching this, head on over. You can head on over to my live multi-stream on Twitch and Kick, Monday through Thursdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch the live streams if you're interested. So there we go. I'm done. That's it for all the sets. And with that said, I wish you all a good night, a buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai.